Hey everyone, Michael Short here. Welcome to Let's Go Outdoors. With over 40 clubs across our province, Nature Alberta has one goal in mind, and that is to get all of us to better understand our natural world. And no one better to talk about Nature Alberta than their executive director. A real pleasure to welcome Dr. Richard Schneider to the program. Dr. Schneider, thanks so much for doing this.
Hi, good morning. My pleasure.
So you've been at the helm, correct me if I'm wrong, since 2020. Is that when you took over?
Yeah, just like 2 months before COVID hit, so it's been quite a ride.
I can imagine. Speaking of COVID, it obviously had a huge impact on everything. Are you folks now able to, because with all the club work and all the other programs you have in place, are you guys now able to meet in person and do these activities?
Yeah, it really did send us for a loop because we do a lot of in-person events in the summer, and yeah, we just shut down and entered the world of digital. And it's I think everybody had a big learning curve. How do you do that? And we figured some things out, and it was pretty hard. But on the other hand, there were some silver linings. So, for an example, that was the advent of Zoom. We'd never used it before, and now we've got a winter speaker series. You see, the clubs there are 40 of them. A lot of them are in remote areas, little towns. They have a real hard time getting speakers to talk to them about nature topics and such. Now everybody plugs in to Zoom on a Wednesday night at 7, and we all share one speaker, and everybody benefits. So there's been some silver linings, I guess, in the whole thing.
You talk to any conservation group and other organizations about retaining membership and getting people engaged in the outdoors and I guess having a better appreciation for what we have and what we want to protect. What, in your mind, are the biggest challenges today in trying to retain that membership and that engagement?
Well, every club is different, so it's hard to say things across the board. Um, what I find is people really want to do hands-on things. They want to go out and experience nature, and for in some cases that means going out for a guided walk, and that's just a matter of capacity. So, when it came to COVID, that shut it all down. And we are back in progress, and all the clubs are back and having their nature walks, their birding outdoors things. So I think so long as we're able to supply those kinds of, leaders to take people out, people like to be with a group. Not everybody, obviously, but a lot of people like to be with a group. And so supplying that seems to be a really key part of it. And the other thing is that people want to do things hands-on. They want to support nature conservation. That's harder, right? For not all groups have a project to work on. Some, like Nature Conservancy, they're really good at doing rehabilitation, let's say, of some of their properties, or groups that have that ability to restore things, or invasive species. Some groups I know, like the Alberta Native Plant Council, has events where they go and remove invasive weeds from places like that. But I frankly, I struggle sometimes finding good things, for people to get their hands in and do. It's not always that easy.
I guess that really then comes down, as you said, 40 clubs across Alberta. Your volunteer base must be amazing, and not just having bodies, but having people who are really engaged, who are really passionate about the outdoors, and can share that with folks that come to these events.
Mm-hmm. For sure. We exist on almost, well, I mean, we have some staff, of course, but, we couldn't do what we do without volunteers, especially at the club level, where many of them are entirely volunteer led. A small group of people will be at the helm of making things happen. You probably know that things don't happen unless that one person steps up and says, yeah, let's get this meeting together. Let's get this event going. And certainly here, like we're sort of the provincial umbrella, right, for all Nature Alberta, for all the other clubs, and so we have more of a provincial focus. And one of our main deliverables, let's say, or things we do. Our flagship is the magazine. And that is almost all volunteer content. Like, we don't have staff writing those articles. I spend time doing it right now, finding people that are frontline biologists or researchers or naturalists with a lot of experience. There's a fellow you'll see in the next issue of the magazine. He's a fisheries biologist, and he's got into snorkeling. So he's going to take us into an underwater experience. I never thought of that much of snorkeling in Alberta rivers, but he says it's a great experience. Takes us underwater, explains what he sees, and he wrote that just as a volunteer contribution. So yeah, the volunteers are central to our whole operation.
Dr. Schneider, thanks so much for this. We really appreciate. We wish you all the best with Nature Alberta. And again, folks, if you are looking for information, go to that website. And
yeah, the events page on that. There's an events page. It'll have all the talks, and it's there.
Perfect. All right, sir. Well, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity. You take care.